Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High Power. Let's get another witness to this video Big Judah dropped earlier in regards to the beast and the idol worship and the judgment that follows. So we're gonna play Big Judah real quick, and as I noted in my last video, when you play it back, it's going to echo. All right, why I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm recording straight from the iPod and his voice is over it and it echoes back. But just bear with the echo, because when you listen to the rest of the video, it will not echo. All right, so I'm gonna let Big Judah play for a second, and then we'll take it from there.
Brethren, as we move to these days of prophecies, the Most High is opening our eyes to more and more understanding. One of the subscribers shared this picture with me, and then I've seen it all over social media as well, talking about this statue here, this golden statue of Trump that they're displaying at the CPAC conference and everything else. And these are just more signs right before the end. History, again, is just repeating itself. In the minds of the Gentiles, they pick and choose what things they want to believe. Like, you can see the similarities between the golden calf and this golden statue of Trump. But they'll say, no, it has nothing to do with that. And then that's it. They're used to being able to say whatever they want to say, and then to say, I don't believe that, and that's as far as the conversation goes. There's a video circulating. I might do a video on it of this guy talking about the Bible and Isaiah 63. And talking about how he read it, talks about Edom, talks about how I destroying Edom when he comes back. But all he said was, I just don't believe that. And then that was pretty much it. And that's what they've been doing. They've been able to do that this whole time. Pick and choose what things they want to believe. Pick and choose, you guys, you're the Israelites? Oh, we don't believe that. And that's pretty much the end of the conversation. And we're like, well, why don't you prove that those issues are the Israelites? No, we don't have to. We just said, that you're not and they are, and that's it. So now we got these events that are playing out right now. Same kinds of things are going on right now. How they're just, picking and choosing what they want to believe. Picking and choosing, who's who. As you can see right here, this is a total redo of the whole story of the Israelites. And then our big downfall right here when we decided to worship the golden calf.
All right, we're gonna stop it right there. Our total downfall when we decided to worship the golden calf. I want you to pay very close attention to this picture here, because when I get into the rebuttal, the lesson, you're gonna see how this is so relevant to our people in Britain when they decided to worship the golden calf. When they decided to go left and do their own thing, what came after that, how the Father set it off on our people in Britain for doing this. Pay very close attention. This is golden. It has on sandals. The sandals are very are telling to this idol. We'll get into it. So let's go. Let's go to this book. You see? Give me a second. Let's go to this book. Let's go to this book. The first book of Napoleon, the Tyrant of the Earth, written in the 5830th year of the world, in the 1809th year of the Christian era by Eliakim the scribe. So you already know about Eliakim the scribe. Who was he? A descendant of a modern branch of the tribe of Levi, a rabbi educated in the Christian schools of the sons of the prophets. So you already know where this record is coming from. It's coming from a legit source. Eliakim the scribe of the tribe of Levi, educated rabbi in the Christian schools of the sons of the prophet, the first book of Napoleon, the tyrant of the earth. That's who he was. Napoleon was a tyrant of the earth. Napoleon, Apollyon, Abaddon. So you can make the connection right there. Okay? So, let's go into this book. We're going to read something real quick right here before we go into the rebuttal. Napoleon, if peradventure this little volume should ever reach you, may its truths sink deep into thine heart. And remember, in the midst of the torrents of blood thy guilty ambition is shedding, and the ruin and desolation it is spreading far and wide, that you are a mortal man, and one day perhaps your soul shall be required of you, and an account of all your deeds by that omnipotent, unerring, and upright being, who, as he made and governs, so in like manner shall he judge the world. Okay? So, let's see. So the king of the Albions his name was Abness. King of chapter 3, let me see. The king of the Albion, his name was Abness, king of Albion. He was a righteous king. So we're going to get into the Gauls, the people of Gauls. Who were they? And what happened? Why did the people of Gaul got the Most High hand put on them? Okay, we're going to go into that and how it goes perfect with what's going on today with this idol worshiping going on with the statue of Trump. Okay, so we'll also go to chapter 5 and we get a quick look into the people of Albion, but that's after. Before we get into the study, let's go and check out the Gauls. Who were the Gauls? This was ancient Britain. Okay, Gaul, Latin for Gallia, was a region of Western Europe first described by the Romans. It was inhabited by the Celtic tribes. So there you have it. That's all we're going to get here. Okay? Inhabited by Celtic tribes. So you know it was your people. All right? It was your people. During the 2nd and 1st century BC, Gaul fell under the Roman rule. Was conquered in 203 BC. Okay? In 123 BC, Gaul was invaded after 120 BC by Cambri and the Teutons. So we're not going to get into all that. So you know they were invaded, they fell. Why? Why though? What happened to you, Gaul? We'll find out right now. Let's go into the book. Napoleon, the tyrant of the earth. The father does not play games. He's too serious for games. Napoleon, the tyrant of the earth. Let's go. Appearance of an evil spirit on the face of the earth, being the forerunner of the tyrant. So before Napoleon hit the earth, there was an evil spirit that was a forerunner to him, just like John the Baptist was a forerunner to Yahushua, spreading the gospel. Well, this evil spirit was spreading something else. We'll get into it. It seized upon the inhabitants of the land of Gaul. It progressed the idolatry of the Gauls, descriptions and signs of the beasts, or of the beast or idol, which these people worship. The evil spirit seized upon the inhabitants of the land of Gaul. Okay? Gaul, Celtic people. It progressed the idolatry of the Gauls, description and signs of the beasts or idol which these people of Gaul worship. So now let's read it. And behold, it came to pass in these latter days that an evil spirit arose in the face of the earth, greatly troubled the sons of men. And this spirit seized upon and spread among the people who dwell in the land of God. Now you have to ask yourself, why would this evil spirit seize upon and spread in the land of God? Why? How come this spirit had authority to do that? That's the question to ask. We'll find out. Now, in these people, reverence for God had not been for many generations. This is why this evil spirit spread. This is why this evil spirit seized upon the people, because what? They didn't have reverence for God. The fear of the Lord had not been with these people for many generations. They had become a corrupt and perverse people. And their chief priests and the nobles of the land and the learned men thereof had become wicked in the imaginations of their hearts and in the practices of their lives. So now you have to look at it this way. Napoleon was to the Britons what Christopher Columbus was to the natives over here in the fourth part. What happened to the people? They had become corrupt, perverse, and their chief priests, their nobles in the land, the learned men thereof, had become wicked in their imaginations of their hearts and in the practices of their lives. Now, if your leaders, if the head is corrupt, if the head is wicked, you already know what's going to happen to the people they govern. The evil spirit went abroad amongst the people, and they raged like unto the heathen. And they rose against the lawful king, and slew him, and slew the queen also, and the prince their son, verily, with a cruel and bloody death. Now the people of Gaul were being governed by a righteous king. They rose against their king. They killed the king. Why? Because the king was in opposition to their wickedness, their vileness, their corruption. And they slew the king, they slew the queen and the prince, and they organized their own government, right? Because they had that evil spirit in them. They didn't slew King Abness. No, this is before King Abness. King Abness was there, but he was in a different part of Britain. So let's keep going. They moreover smote with mighty wrath the king's gods. They banished the priests. They banished the nobles of the land. And they seized upon and took unto themselves their inheritances, their gold and silver, corn and oil, and whatever the hell else that they wanted to get. We're going to go through this because I want to get to the meat. And the evil spirit whispered unto the people. Why? Because they didn't have reverence for God. They don't have the spirit of God in them. Now they are wide open for evil spirit. Now the evil spirit is giving them counsel. The evil spirit whispered unto the people, even unto the meanness and violence thereof. The evil spirit said to all men born equal, they said, you are all born equal. You are all free to act, each one according to the imaginations and devices of his own heart. You could go ahead and do whatever you want. You are born free. You are born equal without the reverence of God. Go ahead. Do whatever you want without the control of lawful rulers of your land. Do whatever you want. Do as you will. There's no reverence for God. And lo, this foolish and wicked counsel of evil designing men, being seemly and well-pleasing in the sight of the multitude, rage furiously against all principalities and powers, having slain the good king, whom the Lord had appointed to rule over them, and to administer justice unto them. They, moreover, sought to overthrow and destroy the kings and rulers of the other nations of the earth. They made war upon them and stirred up the people of those nations in like manner to wage war against the lawful rulers of the lands wherein they had been appointed to dwell. So it wasn't enough for them to be wicked and perverse. They try to do it to other nations and turn the people of the other nations against the governments of those nations so that these people could be just like them. These were our people, and this is what they did. We'll find out what happens to them. So you could see now when you watch Big Judah video, when he talks about the idol, the beasts, you're going to find out what's going to happen to these people because they keep worshiping idol and the beast. So we'll see what God say. Now it so happened that the evil spirit stirred up everyone to seek his own exaltation by humbling and debasing those whom God had made superior to him in mind, body, and estate. And while this spirit raged in Gaul, the curse of God was upon the land. What happens? While the spirit, this evil spirit, which had took possession of those people and they had become corrupt and evil and wicked in their manners and all of that stuff, killing the king that the good God had raised over them to help govern them, while this spirit raged in their minds, what was going on? They were cursed. The curse of God was upon the land. Bloodshed, murder, and rapine, and all manner of blasphemy, wickedness and uncleanness prevailed among the people thereof. So you could take that and you could look at your own nation right now and see what's going on. Is the blessing of God on the land, or is the curse of God on the land? Are the people righteous, holy, or are the people wicked and perverse? Is there murder and bloodshed upon the land? And all manner of blasphemy and wickedness and uncleanness upon the land? Or is there reverence for God upon the land? You decide. And they not only despise the commandments of the Lord, but they also blaspheme the name of the only true and living God. They made idols. They made false gods to themselves. On top of that, they fell down and worshiped them. This is what they made us do. They made us worship Caesarea Borgia, and we got our butt whooped. Now they're doing that to themselves. Remember, this is a choice land, and any nation, anyone who's on this land, they shall conduct themselves in holiness and righteousness according to the laws and statutes and commandments of God, or the Father will set it off on anyone who's doing contrary to that. He will wipe them off the land. So these people, they blasphemed the name of God. They despised the commandments of God. Okay, they made idols, false gods to themselves, and fall down and worship them. You understand? Now let's keep going. Lo and behold, the chief idol, which this wicked and perverse people set up and worship, was like unto a beast. Now we're going to get into the description of the idol, and I'm going to take you back to Big Judah video so you could observe something. And lo and behold, the chief idol, which this wicked and perverse people set up and worship, was like unto a beast, although made somewhat after the image of a man. Let's keep going. And out of the head of the beast there arose horns. Wait, before we keep going, let's go out of here. This idol was like unto a beast, made like unto the image of a man. This is a beast, but it's made like unto the image of a man. Now you see, it is analogous to what our people was doing. Let's go back. This idol, which this wicked and perverse people set up and worshipped, was like unto a beast, although made somewhat after the image of a man. Don't let this fool you. This ain't a man, this is a beast. It's just made like unto the image of a man, so they can play mind jujitsu on you. Okay, let's keep going. And out of the head of the beast there arose 3 horns. Now remember, the Gauls are doing this. Our people were doing this. The Gauls, Celtic tribes, that's who they were. Out of the head of the beast there arose 3 horns. Upon each of the horns there were written these words: sedition, privy, conspiracy, and rebellion. Let's get the definition for sedition. Sedition, a serious felony punishable by fines up to 20 years in prison. Sedition refers to the act of enticing revolt or violence against a lawful authority with the goal of destroying the authority and overthrowing it. So on one of the horns that came out of the beast's forehead were written sedition, privy, conspiracy, and rebellion. And on the forehead of the beast, and under the horns, no, not on one of the horns, on each of the horns, there were written these words. Forgive me. On each one of them were written sedition, privy, conspiracy, and rebellion. And on the forehead of the beast and under the horns of the beast were written in letters, of blood. The words treasons and crimes. You could look up treason and crime. You already know. And from the eyes of the beast. Now they're giving you a vivid description of the beast. Every part of the beast is analogous to something. Just like that statue in the book of Daniel, right? The head of gold, the feet of iron, or whatever the hell it was. It's just like that, right? Every beast, something, it means something. Every part of the beast means something. So listen, for Britain, for the Gauls in Britain, this is what it meant. On the eyes of the beast, there proceeded flashes of devouring fire. Its jaws and throat were like unto the mouth of hell. And from its tongue there issued cursings and blasphemies. And you're going to know why, the reason why it's like that. Upon the breast of the beast there were written the words, irreligion. There were written the word irreligion, infidelity, and tumult. What is irreligion? Irreligion is indifference or hostility to religion, lack of religious beliefs. So that means straight, don't give a damn about God type of thing, right? Lack of religious beliefs and stuff like that. Hostility toward religion. So upon the breast of the beast written irreligion, infidelity, and tumult. And in its right hand it held an emblem of fire and sword. And in its left hand it held an emblem of rapine and murder. Let's get the definition for this word rapine. It comes too much. Rapine. Let me see. Rapping. It's called rapping. Hold up. Listen to this. Rapping. Rapping means violent seizure of someone's property. Oh, really? Huh. All right. On the left hand of the beast was written, had an emblem with the word rapine and murder, violent seizure of someone's property. This is what our people were doing in Gaul, Britain. And upon the feet of the beast there were brazen sandals. I want you to pay attention to the sandals. There were brazen sandals like unto those worn by men. Remember, this is a beast. This is not a man. You see the sandals here? Red sandals on this beast right here. This beast have red sandals like unto those worn by men. But this is a beast made into an image of a man. This is not a man. This is a beast wearing sandals. All right. I want you to pay attention. It is the same thing we did here and they're doing there. This is the same thing because you know they have this record. Upon the feet of the beast there were sandals, brazen sandals, like unto those worn by men. And upon the sandal of the right foot there was engraven in letters of brass, terror, dismay. And upon the sandal on the left foot, blood and famine, signifying that this is what it meant. Wherever the beast stepped foot, those direful evils would afflict the land. So wherever the beast went, there would be blood, famine, okay, terror, dismay. Because that's what's written on the sandals, okay? Sandals worn by these damn beasts with the body of a man. Brazen sandals like unto those worn by men. Upon the sandal written blood, dismay, terror, famine, and all of that stuff. You understand? So that's the same thing they're doing here. So when they erected this beast, and you see, this is the same thing that our people did and they're doing. And you're going to find out what comes after the worshiping of idol. You're going to find out how the Most High replied. What is the Most High's rebuttal? What does it do to his people or to a nation that does this? So what was the name of the idol? Behold, the name of the idol was called licentiousness. So this is the name of this idol. This idol, I'm sorry I keep going back and forth. This is the name of this idol. This idol is named licentiousness. That's his name. This idol is named licentiousness. What is licentiousness? Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters. The rulers of tyranny. Promiscuous, unprincipled in sexual matters. What else? Salacious, immoral, debauchery, wicked, sinful, impure, depraved, lecherous, lewd, carnal, fleshly, smutty, filthy, dirty, horny, pervy, perverted. Okay? This is what we're dealing with. This is this idol. This idol is disgusting. And this is the God of the people. Okay? And lo, listen to this. A warning. This is what Big Judah was talking about. Now shout out to the big homie. Lo, a warning voice proceeding as it were from the heavens. Where did this voice come from? This voice came from the heavens. This voice, a warning voice proceeding as it were from the heavens on high, was heard upon the earth beneath. You see, now you see, people think these things can happen. But in the midst of your wickedness, there will be a voice proceeding from the heavens on high. And this voice will be heard upon the earth beneath. And this voice will be saying, beware, O man, of the exceeding great vileness. And beware of the abominations of the beast or idol herein described. For upon the followers and worshippers thereof there shall descend justice and diverse direful judgments. This is what's happening. A voice came up from on high, warning the people, whoever wants to follow and worship this beast made like unto an image of a man. Okay? If you worship this beast, if you follow this beast, what's going to happen? There shall descend justice, diverse, direful judgments. What is the beast's name? Licentiousness. Okay? This beast is filthy, dirty, horny, lecherous, naughty, disgusting, corrupt, sinful, and wicked. This is what the people of Gaul had become. They're following this idol, worshiping this idol, and they had become licentiousness like unto this beast and this idol. And a voice came from on high, warning them how the Most High going to set it off on them. Let's keep going. And the people and the evil spirit continued to spread itself among the nations of the earth. Remember, this evil spirit came before the tyrant came. You see, it came and got the ground ready. The people were primed. They were already knee deep into wickedness and evil before the tyrant Napoleon hit. Because when the people stopped worshiping God, when they became evil, they were wide open for evil spirits. The evil continued to spread itself among the nations of the earth, and they were sorely afflicted and troubled therein. Why? Because the Father told them, if you follow this damn idol and worship it, justice shall descend, diverse and direful judgments shall hit your shores. They were sorely afflicted, troubled therewith, and the idolatry of the beast in like manner prevailed among the sons of men. And it pleased the Lord to deliver the worshippers thereof in the hands of the Gauls. Now, that reminds you of the 70 shepherds in the book of Enoch. When the angel went and told God, listen, they're killing your people. The Father said, do nothing. All you could do for them right now is to take notes. Write down everyone that they killed that they're not supposed to kill. And he says in that book, it pleased God. It pleased the Lord to afflict us because we disobeyed him. It pleased the Lord to do what? To deliver the worshippers thereof into the hands of the Gauls. You understand? Now the Gauls continue to rage as heretofore with mighty ire and wage war against all nations, peoples, and languages. And the kings and rulers of the earth beheld the raging of the storm and combined together to quell the fury thereof. But the power of the evil spirit and of the multitude which moved was mighty great. And from among them there arose valiant captains and men of war, and they overthrew those that waged war against them. We're not going to go through that all the way. We're going to go down to page 20. We're going to go down to page 20 because I have some notes here. Let's get this quick. I don't want my video to be too long. Page 20 out of 151. Let's go down. Page 16. Let's go to 20. Hold up. I see heaven. Okay, boom. Let's go down. 20. Where we at? We're in 23. Okay, 23. Is it 23? 23. All right, we need 23. We need 23. All right, there you go. All right, let's go here. Let's go here first. Okay? And when the Lord, let me see if I could discern. Okay, let's read about the Gauls. Let's right here, 22. All right, let's read about the characteristics of the Gauls. The Gauls were altogether a wicked and perverse people. Now remember who the Gauls were. Celtic tribes. Gauls. Let me get that for you again. Gaul, Britain. Gaul, Britain. Wikipedia. Okay? A region of Western Europe inhabited by Celtic tribes. So these Gaul people were together a wicked and perverse people. Okay? They were what? A wicked and perverse people. I'm not going to read the whole paragraph. You could go back and read it yourself. Right? They planted an evil tree, and the tree grew, and its branches were decayed, blasted, its roots were rotten. Okay, so now Gauls altogether a wicked and perverse people. And when the Lord looked down from heaven, what did he do? He beheld the perverse wickedness of the Gauls. And the Lord said, verily, I will punish this wicked people. I will punish these people for the wickedness of the ways. Why would the Lord be concerned about punishing these people? Because he's the Lord of the people. He said, I will punish these people for the wickedness of their ways. So the Lord spake by his prophets and said unto the people of God. Okay, so now before I go here, let's go there. The Lord spake by whom? The Lord spake by his prophets. The Lord spake by his prophets. Let's see. Let's go. See, our people don't listen when the prophets come and warn them. We're going to go to this book, Choose Your Misery. We're going to go to this book, Chosen Misery. Choose Your Misery. We're going to go here. Let's see when the Lord speaks by the prophets. Let's see the voice of the Lord in the latter days. Remember, it was the latter days for the Gauls. And the voice of warning shall be unto all the people by the mouths of my disciples, the prophets, whom I have chosen in these last days. And my disciples, the prophets, shall go forth, and none shall stay them. For I, the Lord, have what? Commended them. Let's go over here. For this is a day of warning, and not a day of many words. For I, Yahweh, am not to be mocked in the last days. Let's go down here. Behold, I sent you out to testify and warn the people. And it becomes every man who has been warned by his neighbor. Therefore, it behooves every man to warn another man. Therefore, they are left without excuse, and their sins are upon their own heads. Okay, why? Because God can see the actions of all people in the world. He knows the spirit of each person who is a servant of Satan. The people of God, our people, they were servants of Satan. Even though they were supposed to be worshiping God, they didn't have reverence for God. They were without reverence for God for a couple of generations. God can see the actions of all people in the world. He knows the spirit of each man, each person who is a servant of Satan, and who openly or through his attitudes and standards of conduct oppose God's work. The people of God openly and oppose God's work. What were they doing? They erected an idol with the name licentiousness, evil idol. They worship this idol. They follow this idol. Okay? And the Father what? Sent warnings. He sent warnings by the mouth of his prophet. He said he's going to what? He's going to set it off on his people. So the Lord spake by his prophets and said unto the people of God, foolish people, oh foolish people, you have cast down and slain with a cruel and ignominious death the king whom I had appointed to rule over you, and whose fathers had reigned in the land for many generations. And you have destroyed all principalities and powers, and you have despised all holy things, and have imagined vain and wicked conceits, and have moreover troubled the peace of the world, and sworn enmity and sworn enmity to the kings and rulers of the earth. But I will punish you. Father says, what? I will punish you, O people, for these evil doings. Why? Because this was a choice land. Britain was a choice land. And these people were not supposed to be doing what they were doing in that land. Father have a way for his people to live on the land that he gave them. These people have become wicked. And Father says, I will punish you. You have become vain in your imaginations. You despise, you destroy all principalities and powers, and you have despised all holy things. You have despised all holy things. Okay? Let me see. You have imagined vain and wicked conceits, and have moreover troubled. You have moreover, let me see. Moreover troubled the peace of the world. Okay? You have troubled the peace of the world and sworn enmity to the kings and rulers of the earth. You are irreligion. What is that? And the Father says you have despised all holy things. He called them irreligious. What is irreligious again? Indifference, hostility towards religion or lack of religious, towards the divine. Okay? Father says, I'm going to set it off on you foolish people. Okay? You have despised everything holy. You have sworn enmity to the kings and rulers of the earth. But I will punish you, O people, for these evil doings. And lo and behold, a mean, born stranger. Oh, that's Napoleon right there. This is where the Most High introduced Napoleon and Abaddon. This is where the Most High introduced the mean stranger. He said, he shall come from afar. And you see, this is exactly what happened, right? Sounds like Columbus. When Nephi 13, I believe he looked, what do you see? He says, I see a man among the Gentiles, and I see the Spirit of the Lord came upon that man to come and set it off for my people. This is the same thing. It's analogous to the same thing. Oh, people, for these evil doings, and lo and behold, a mean-born stranger shall come from afar, just like Columbus came here. This is what Napoleon was to the Britain, what Columbus was to us. A mean stranger shall come from afar, and you shall pay obeisance to him. You shall fear him, lick the dust under his feet, and tremble under his crown, which unto you shall be a crown of iron. And lo, the prophecy of the Lord was fulfilled, just like it was fulfilled here for us with Columbus. It was fulfilled for them in Britain, worshiping idols and becoming wicked because they were possessed by this evil spirit. Why? Because they didn't have reverence for God. And Father turned them over to Satan. Lo, the prophecy of the Lord was fulfilled. He sent them a stranger from afar, that they paid obeisance to him, feared him, licked the dust under his feet, and trembled under his crown, which unto them, the Gauls, shall be a crown of iron. Father don't play no games with wickedness. Okay? So this is what I wanted to read to you guys. So let me go down. I have something else to show you. Hold up. Wait a minute. Where's my notes? I need my notes. Give me a second here. I got something else to show you. I got to go down to 23. Hold up. Okay, over here. Let me see. Description. Okay, so now let's get into the description of the land of Albion. So the land of Albion is the ancient name, right, for England. I have a video now. I went into that. Albion is the original name of England. The description of the land of Albion, okay, and of the good king that reigned over Albion. What was his name and who he was? Let's find out real quick. This is while the Gauls were being wicked and perverse, there was one little spot that the people were righteous and holy, and this king made sure that he kept them that way, and Father gave them dominion over the seas. He gave them dominion over the seas. He reigned supreme. Napoleon, the stranger, the tyrant, couldn't do nothing to effect the power of this king, because this king was righteous. The Father protected him. Okay? The description of the land of Albion and the good king that reigned over the same, his throne, description also of the tree which had grown. So let's go. It came to pass in those days that there were a people who dwell in the land called Albion, which is an island in the sea over against the coast of the land of Gaul. Okay? And lo and behold, deep and mighty waters encompass the land of Albion, just like mighty and deep waters separate our land from the rest of the world. Deep and mighty land separate the land of deep and mighty waters separated the land of Albion as with a shield, and the people who dwell therein, just like the Father separated us, okay, by using the waters, deep waters, mighty waters, as a shield to separate and protect his people on the fourth part when we were being obedient and following his precepts, until he sent the stranger Columbus to set it up on his people over here the same way he did to them over there. They did it first though. Now it pleased the Lord not to deliver the people of Albion into the hands of the Gauls. You hear that? It pleased God not to deliver these people into their hands, nor to put them under the yoke of the tyrant of the earth, which is Napoleon. Why did it please God not to do it over here, but up top where I just read to you, it pleased God to deliver those people into the land, into the hands of Gauls? Because these people were doing something else. They reverenced God. Over these people there reigned for many years a good king who reverenced, who had deep respect for the Lord and kept the Lord's commandments, and who walked uprightly before the Lord his God. You see now, our people used to be like that over here in the fourth part. But when we changed our mind and decided to be wicked, it all changed. Okay? But for long, we had a representation of this king. Okay? This king who reverenced God and kept his commandments, who walked uprightly before the Lord his God. It had pleased the Lord to bless this good king, just like he blessed us when we were doing right, and the people over whom he had been appointed to reign in gentleness and mercy. And the Lord had given this king many sons and daughters, valiant, loving, faithful people. And the people never ceased shouting aloud all day long, "O king, live forever." And this good king was called Abness, King Abness over Albion. This good king called Abness, which was also the name of his forefathers, Albion, ancient name for England. This good king called Abness, which was also the name of his forefathers, ran in the old times before him. Behold, on the crown of this king, which was a golden crown set around with precious stones, there were written the word moderation and mercy. Remember, the words written on the crown of the beast. Everything opposite to moderation. Moderation and mercy. You see now, this king was going, everything the others were doing, he was doing the opposite. What is moderation? Avoidance of excess or extremities, especially in one's behavior or political opinion. See, these people were moderate in their ways. They weren't excessive in anything. On the crown of this king were precious stones, also written the words moderation and mercy, justice and truth. Now, see, this king that we are under here in this country, this is not written on his crown. He doesn't have moderation and mercy. No, this king is the beast. This is the beast. He has licentious written on his forehead. That's his name. He represents murder, violence, rapine, atrocity, immoral nudity, sexuality. He represents all kinds of violence and shenanigans and debauchery. But this king, though, moderation, mercy, justice, and truth. Okay? He walked. He kept the commandments of God. He walked uprightly before the Lord his God. So it pleased God not to turn him over into the hands of the Gauls. God showed him mercy. He reigned over the people with gentleness and mercy. He had many sons and daughters, valiant, loving, faithful people. They never ceased shouting, "O king, live forever." His name was King Abness. He inherited the name of his fathers that reigned before him. Behold, on his crown were written moderation and mercy, justice and truth, shown in countenance and performed from his heart. And from his heart proceeded religion, piety, and devotion. Remember, for the beast, it was irreligion. It was not devotion. It was not piety. This represents this king because this king had reverence for God. On the right hand of this king was held a sword where it was written defense. He's going to defend his country, right? His nation. Okay? And on the left hand of the king was a trident whereupon were engraven in letters of gold these words, the dominion of the sea. The Father, the Almighty God gave this king sovereignty over the ocean. This king was sovereign over the ocean. The tyrant Napoleon couldn't do nothing to defeat this king. Whenever there was a battle, something to be happening, he will go out to the sea and he will set it off on anyone on the sea and will destroy them. Wars were nowhere near Albion, because this king was sovereign over the ocean and he will destroy his enemy on the ocean far away from Albion, where his people were basking in shalom, in peace, in the goodness and the mercy and grace of God. And under his throne there were 2 footstools of gold. And on one footstool there were engraven freedom and security, just like under the footstool of the golden of the wicked idol, licentiousness. On his sandals were written all kinds of nonsense, which signify wherever he stepped foot, the people would suffer those things. So as such, for this king, under his foot were written what? Freedom, security, wealth, and happiness, signifying that wherever the power and the dominion of this good king prevailed, wherever the power and dominion of this good king prevailed, these blessings would fall to the lot of the land. This king was a blessing unto the people because he was a righteous king, and he made sure that his people were also righteous. And in the land of Albion, there grew and flourished in peace and happiness that tree which the other nations of the world had been foolishly and devouring to plant and to rear amidst ruin and desolation and in the sea. Okay, so we're not going to read this. I just wanted to get you quickly about the king of Albion, how he was when we are doing good. The Father has mercy and grace. He show us good. He show us love. Let me read you this last thing real quick. Let me read you the warning that came to the people of Albion. Let me read you the warning that came to the people of Albion so that you know what happened to them, because these people of Albion, they started to be wicked a little bit, but the Father sent them a dire warning. Okay, let's listen. Let's go. Oh, you. So now this is going to make sense, because what's going to happen with these people now, worshiping this idol, you know, they have bed sheets with this guy's face on it. They have fake money with his face on it. They had their pillowcases with his face on it. They worship this guy. He's an idol for them. His licentiousness. He represents immorality. He represents a whole lot of nonsense. But see, and it pleased the God to set it off on his people. In Britain, the Gauls. Now here's one nation, the Albion, being governed by a righteous king, and the Father is going to send them a warning also. Listen, oh, you ancients of the land. We can also take this warning to heart, because we are the ancients of the land. Let your gray hairs be unto you a crown of glory. And when your hoary heads descend upon the grave, your souls shall ascend to heaven and mingle with the spirits of the just. Rejoice in your youth and the fullness of your strength. Remember that disease, age, and death are rapidly advancing. Remember that, y'all. Disease, age, and death are rapidly advancing. I would venture to say they're already here. Devote, therefore, the strength of your days. That's what we're doing now. We are devoting the strength of our days to the practice of whatever is good and amiable, so that when the infirmities of nature shall overtake you and I, we may be found in the full possession of virtuosity, of our virtuous and vigorous soul. And if we should die, we will die the death of the righteous. So now it's going to give warnings to parents. Parents, be careful to inculcate on the minds of your children the precepts of religion and morality. Okay? Be careful to teach your children reverence about morality. And also, while you're doing that, you got to set the example by how you live your life. Exemplify the same in the purity and holiness of your own lives. Don't just talk it. You got to live it, because they're going to observe you. That's how children learn. They learn by observing their parents. You can tell them don't smoke and you go around and smoke. That's hypocrisy. Children, little ones, obey the precepts and admonitions of your parents. Reverence God and honor the king. Have deep respect for God, children. So shall it please the Almighty to summon you hence. So he says, if it please God to summon you, you may be reunited to those companions of your innocent years who may have gone before you to the mansions of peace. Okay? Therefore, your spotless soul shall be required of you. When, therefore, your spotless soul shall be required of you, may the whispering angel say to you, sister spirit, come away, for of such is the kingdom of God. Masters, be gentle and reasonable with your servants. See, our masters have not been gentle or reasonable to us. No, they have raped, murdered, they have stolen, they have plagiarized, they have done all kinds of things to us. They have not been merciful. Say, Father says, be gentle and reasonable with your servants, your inferiors. Even as you expect God, the God of heaven, to be merciful unto you. This is why the God of heaven is not going to be merciful unto them, because they have not been merciful unto us. You know? So servants, see that you are honest and faithful. We've been honest. We've been faithful. We've been obedient to our earthly masters. Now it's time for the Father. Now he's turned the cup. He's putting the foot on the other shoe. Now they are worshiping this idol and this beast. They've been doing it. But now that you see this picture now, you know what's going to come. So now Father's giving a warning to the people of Albion, under the dominion, under the kingdom, under the hand of King Abness. He says, do these things, so it shall be well with you. But if you don't, lo, a voice from heaven was heard, saying to the people of Albion, if the people of Albion shall listen unto these warnings and admonitions, the blessings which the only true and living God has vouched shall be continued unto them and to their children's children for generations yet unborn. If you stay, if you follow, right? Okay, if you listen to these warnings, to these admonitions, the blessings which have been enjoyed shall stay there with you, shall continue unto your children's children's for generations yet unborn. This was supposed to be us. We're supposed to be just like that. But what happened though? Let's find out. Father says, the land where you dwell shall bring forth her increase, and God, even their own God, shall give them blessing. You see that? Your land shall bring forth the increase if you what? Follow the warnings and admonitions. Remember, the people don't listen to the prophets. When the prophets come to warn them against the what? Against the judgments to come, the people don't follow the prophets. The dominion over the sea, and health and wealth and all manner of security and happiness. Remember, the Father gave out the King Abness sovereignty over the oceans. He ran the sea. He had dominion over the sea. He had health. He had wealth. He was prosperous. However, if the people of Albion shall go left, if they shall do contrary to the warnings and admonitions that God had told them, thousands and 10,000s of evils shall afflict the land. This is what's going to happen now, and this is what's happening. The people of this nation have done contrary and despised the warnings and the admonitions of the Lord. And thousands, 10,000s times 10,000s of evils shall afflict the land. That's what happened to our people. And remember, this is a choice land. Everyone who have this land must be like King Abness. If you're not like King Abness, thousands and 10,000s of evils shall afflict the land, and the inhabitants thereof shall be delivered into the hands of their enemies. That's what happened to Britain. That's what happened to us here. And that's what's about to happen to this nation right now. But this time, though, Father's going to give them back give them into our hands. Prophecy shall be fulfilled. All the judgments foretold and denounced in this book shall come upon the people and scourge them, even unto the excessive bitterness of their souls. And when the voice that was heard from heaven, from on high, ceased speaking, the people what? Marveled within themselves and said, verily, these sayings are worthy of all acceptation. Therefore, let us reverence and worship the God of our fathers and keep his commandments. So here we are, family. I just wanted to give you this quick rebuttal, follow up, supporting the video Big Judah dropped. Let me take you back to the first page of this book. So I'll try to post the link for you. So you could have this book. It's a very short read. It's very beautiful read. The first book on Napoleon, the Tyrant of the Earth, written by Eliakim the scribe, a descendant of the branch of the tribe of Levi, educated in the Christian schools of the sons of the prophets, a rabbi. All right? All praises to the Most High power. Remember who you are, family. You are the children of the kingdom, and you manifest the gifts of the Spirit. Shalom.